All right, welcome everyone to our December 22nd edition of the St. Lawrence County Chamber's Lunch and Learn webinar series. I am Laura Pearson, Workforce Development Coordinator, for the St. Lawrence County Chamber of Commerce and the Executive Director of the Greater Ogdensburg Chamber of Commerce. This monthly educational webinar series is made possible by the generous support of St. Lawrence University and Clarkson University, who are leadership circle supporters of the Chamber and sponsor the webinars. I would like to thank Executive Director Ben Dixon, who is my tech manager for this webinar, and he's the big M that you see on your screen. Before I introduce today's presenter, I want to run through a few items. First of all, your mics have been muted and your webcams have been disabled. But if you have any questions throughout the presentation, please feel free to type them into the chat window and we will do our best to answer them. Please note that this session is being recorded for the purposes of broadcasting it on our webinar archive and YouTube channel, which is named the SLC Chamber NY. After the presentations are complete, we will stop the recording for any Q&A. We do keep the webinars under an hour so you can get back to work. If you're interested in presenting or have a topic you would like us to research and get a presenter for, please contact us. Without further ado, I need to introduce our speaker for today. Our topic for today is finding work-life balance, how to identify your own challenges and work-life balance, and learning helpful hints on dealing with work stress and achieving better balance at home. Here to present this valuable webinar is Kelly Flanagan Hall, EAP Program Coordinator for Pivot in Watertown. Kelly has worked for Pivot for 22 years and is a coordinator and counselor for Employee Assistance Services, EAP. She has her master's degree in counseling and human services that she obtained from Oswego State and St. Lawrence University. She is also a second-degree Reiki practitioner. Kelly likes to follow and learn the teachings of holistic medicine, encompassing the whole person, body, mind, spirit, and emotions in the quest for optimal health and wellness. According to the holistic medicine philosophy, one can achieve optimal health, the primary goal of holistic medicine practice, by gaining proper balance in life. When she isn't working, she enjoys glamping, which is camping glamorously, hiking and kayaking in the Adirondacks. She also enjoys time spent with her Frisian horse Nirvana and her collie Wilson and her rescue Chai. Welcome, Kelly. It's all yours, girlfriend.
All right. Thank you very much. I know it is embarrassing to be glamping. I have a very hoping I can get this done. It's this presentation. So I'm going to get right to it. It's probably more than an hour's worth. So I will get started. So whoever coined the phrase, "Don't sweat the small stuff," was probably not a dad or a mom. Being a parent, as we know, is all about the small stuff, whether it's changing diapers, fixing meals, kissing boo-boos. We all have that small stuff, and it does add up, and that's when it gets very stressful. Today, more and more people struggle with the demands and schedules that we have, and we try to get personal and professional satisfaction out of both of them. And we have demanding schedules, both home and at work. And we struggle to balance everything all together. You know, if your laundry basket as full as your in basket at work, you're not alone if that's the way it is. And it becomes very complex to try to balance everything. So if you think about it, what are you all balancing? You know, what are you trying to keep from going crazy? Now, can we do it? No, you really can't. And I know you're probably all disappointed because I thought you were probably eagerly waiting for me to give you some kind of secret where to tell you how to balance things. And you really cannot balance work and life perfectly. Perfection is an illusion. And, you know, they like to, it's a kind of a modern day catchphrase. Oh, I got balancing work and life. But it basically means, hopefully, that everything can kind of flow perfectly. And how we cope with life's up and downs that they throw at us, that's the real test. And it's different for all of us. I don't have children anymore. They've moved outside of my home. So my balance is a little different from people that have children and a lot easier. Professionally, we have different jobs, different demands of our jobs. So it's going to be a different balance for each one of us. So I've got some questions to ask, so you can ask yourself these questions. Do you allocate enough time in the day? I've got to move this thing because it's right over my questions. Do you allocate enough time in the day to spend with family or get your work completed? Do you leave family problems at home? Do you successfully allocate time in your day to do the things you want to do with your family? Do you come home from work physically or mentally, emotionally drained? Do you find it difficult to get out of bed every day knowing that you face an overwhelming workload? Do you leave work behind without talking or worrying about it, or have a gnawing feeling of the work that needs to be done? Do you leave work exhausted and upset about starting your second shift at home, which is your household duties and or childcare? Do you suffer from headaches, backaches, digestive upsets, fatigue, exhaustion that can be traced to your problems at work? Are you drinking too much coffee, smoking too many cigarettes, eating too much, unable to fall asleep at night due to work-related anxiety? Do you feel like you're always behind schedule or wish you could quit your job? Think about it. How many of you perfectly are out of whack with this? Probably all of you. Just try to get out of your head that there is a perfect balance. Again, life is going to throw things at us constantly, every day. When you look at it, the demands in the workplace and our personal lives, they put a huge pressure on us. And again, how are we going to cope with it? It would be fabulous if we could, one hand was for work and the other was for home life, and the two never met, but they're constantly intertwining with each other. And nobody wants to take work home with them. You've done a 7-8 hour day. You don't need to continue that day onto a 15-20 hour day. Same when you go home, enjoy work, enjoy home. Many of us, when people are like on their deathbed, they don't regret, geez, I wish I would have worked too much. I wish I would have spent more time home with the family. And, those are the important things in life. And the big challenge is keeping them separate. Feeling stressed out from work means you're going to bring it home. You're not going to enjoy home life. When you hear people say, I want balance work and life, get talking about that. Dive into it deeper. What is it you need? What is it do you want? Do you want more time at home? Do you want more time to get through your in basket at work or in through your emails? And you can get both. But again, it's how much are you willing to let go of other things that you might have. So why do we get out of balance? So we have unrealistic goals, or we don't have any goals at all, which we should look at. Lack of planning. We failed to plan. This is a perfect time to be organized in December for Christmas. There's so much that has to be done. Need for approval. A lot of people, before they can go forward, they need somebody to tell them you're doing a good job. Inability to say no. Those are the best people to have work for you. They'll do all the work. They can't tell you no. The desire to please, the need for power, lack of self-awareness. That's kind of how we manage to get out of balance. So think about it. You only got 24 hours in a day, and there's several areas that need demand. Family, career, social, personal, spiritual, physical health, sleeping, eating. And when one is out of place, all the rest of them, it knocks them out of balance too. Think about your organization of your day and look at it as money. Where you spend it in one area, you're going to lose it in another. So think about where is the best place to put that. And it's not about doing or having it all. It's about finding a way to shift the balance back and forth, which you're always going to be doing. Oh man, I forgot that Timmy had a soccer practice tonight. Now I got to change this plan. Oh geez, I got to make those cupcakes I wasn't told about. Now I've got to shift that plan. And a lot of times we get the guilt that we can't do it all and we can't be it all. And you can't. And if the better and the sooner you can come to that realization, that basically the happier you'll be about it. You can get satisfaction from doing what you're doing. Rely on those closest to you to listen and help you with what you're struggling with. Look out for red flags for yourself: exhaustion, emotional overload, not focusing. Look for satisfaction, not balance. I'm just trying to get that going. So one way you can do this, and I have my clients do this, and you can do this on your own also, is to track your time. So one way you can do this, let me see if it's on the next slide. I can show you better. Yes, I can. Is make a pie chart. Look at where you're spending your time. Where's it off balance a little bit? Are you spending too much time watching TV or on Facebook? Are you making extra trips to the store when you could just make one? Look where you can add extra space for your time. You have to read a book. Is it on a podcast? You're waiting for your children to get out of sports. Is it a good time to balance your checkbook or do your banking? Where can you kind of double dip to make that time analysis work? A lot of times, and almost every time, people have, they've done this and they've come up with, oh my gosh, I've got extra time to do things with, because we have a lot of time wasters. We're all guilty of that we spend a lot of time doing things, but this can generally help. And it can even generally, you could change this and use it for the whole household. How much time are we spending together as a family in front of the TV, doing family things? So what's burnout? Basically, it's a disabling reaction to stress, and it can erode your physical and mental health. Have any of you felt like Frank there? I know I have at times in my life. So who's susceptible? As you see, a lot of people in the helping field. If you are in the helping field, you have to be very careful of this because we constantly give. And a lot of times we all are acceptable. And it is generally likely you're going to find the hardest workers that get this. The lummoxes in the office and the people who don't work as hard don't get this as quickly. The superstars do. And they'll put more time in, more work. They can't say no. They're there to please people. And they're good to have on your team. But again, they tend to fry pretty quickly. So these are some workplace challenges that people who do suffer from burnout or can get burnout easy is in this work environment. A lot more demands and resources, which all of us are seeing now because of the lack of people in the workforce. So we're taking on other job duties. Conflict in relationships. How's your workplace? How do people get along? Is there backstabbing? Is there rumors flying? That makes it a difficult environment to work in. How is everybody about adapting to changes and challenges? Adjusting to organizational change. How are your supervisors? Are there issues with them? Do people have problems with them? Or are they pretty flexible and easygoing? Firm but fair. So to reduce work stress, you can use your time wisely, take breaks. I know sometimes bosses don't like to hear that, but in any research that I've done, if you can take like a 5-minute break, at least every hour, whether it's just to get up, walk around the office, you'll come back more refreshed and better to work. Chunk down large jobs. If you have jobs that you're like, ugh, right, you dread doing and you keep procrastinating and putting it off, chunk it. Do just in little bits and pieces of it. It won't make it as difficult. Get away during lunch. I am guilty of not, but I will not practice what I preach, but get away from your desk. Don't keep working. Take that needed break. You'll come back better able to work, more refreshed. Your mind will be clear. Take a walk. Confront problems. Are there issues going on with coworkers? Have a discussion with them. Take care of it. You don't want to drag that baggage around. And, communicating effectively with them. Lighten up, smile more in the workplace. It lightens up the whole place. If you've noticed, if there's even one person in your office that's in a bad mood and they're grumpy and they're not smiling, if they change that and, hey, how you doing today? And they were smiling, it changes everything in the workplace. It lightens up. Learning to listen better to people. Rather than getting upset with others and disagreeing, listen actively and find out the areas of agreement and go with that. You both have the same goals in mind. So how can we work towards what we believe should be the right goal? Change the environment in your office. Change the lighting, change what you have on your walls. Get more sleep. Stress levels will increase. Without sleep, you need the energy, you need the rest, you need the time out. Find a mentor at work. They can help you maybe get through tough or difficult projects that you may have. And spending time with optimistic people. Everybody wants to be around the fun person at work or the person that is always laughing or smiling, and it brings up the whole workplace. Now, this is what, when you have stress, this is what your body is dealing with. And they do this in a millisecond. When you're in your fight, flight, or freeze mode, and you're stressed, racing thoughts, you make snap decisions. I'm not going to go over all of them, but your senses all get heightened. Pupils dilate so you can see more. Grit your teeth, you're clenching your teeth. That's why people sometimes have a lot of jaw issues. Blood circulates quickly to the extremities because it's getting ready to fight or flight. And when you're in a stress situation, that's what it does. Store sugars and fats pumped into the bloodstream. I can't think what they call it, the belly that you get when you're under a lot of stress. But they have found that people in a stressful job, they get this, it's cortisol, and maybe it's a cortisol belly. You get sweaty, like I was doing before I came on here. Your pulse increases, your heart races, your breathing increases, digestion stops because it needs that energy to take care of the stress. Blood clotting activates, blood diverts from extremities. And this is why inability to sit still. This is why a lot of people who have stressful jobs have all kinds of issues. I'm trying to remember, I want to believe it's, and I'm going to be wrong in this, but it's very high and close to 75-80% of what doctors see are people with issues like this, all due to stress. I do believe in breath work, and breath work is something, as soon as you feel this coming on and you can do some slow breathing, it's going to calm the nervous system down. But that's a whole other class. So nearly 63% of families have two people working, and half the American workforce is women. I was going to say how many dual careers, but your cameras are out. So there's a lot of issues you have to deal with when there are dual career couples. Um, some of the issues people have are the child is sick. Who's going to watch the child? He can't go to daycare. Who's going to stay home or go to work? Oh, geez, the pet's sick. He's got to go to the vets. One of the parents is sick. Who's going to do the household stuff? Who's going to do the grocery shopping? Who's going to pick up the dry cleaning? Who's going to run all the errands, take care of the checkbook? Who maintains the household? There's a lot of things to take into account with kind of trying to maintaining, I'm going to use balance. So some of the ways you can achieve this at home is, again, sharing responsibilities with people and family meetings, good communication, let people know, I'm not real happy with how this is working. A lot of dual couples, they get pulled away from priorities that they would like in their family because of all of the demands upon them. If you don't aggressively try to balance these, other forces will prevail on there. You need a clear plan and how you're going to work things. Your mother, father, coach, pharmacist, there's a lot of titles that we carry, and time with your family only comes around once in your lifetime. So this is something I also do with clients. It's called Who Does What, and I have them divide it, each partner on each side, and they make a list of who does what around the household, right down to sending Christmas cards out, and just to see how the inequities are, if there are any. And then if there are, it's planning it to make things more equal so one person isn't stuck doing the majority of everything. And, how can we make it more equal? Family meetings. I am a strong advocate for family meetings. If you asked my kids, they would tell you differently. They hated them. My kids are like 40 and 41, no, 41 and 42 right now. And if I say the word family meeting, they still cringe. They hate them. But I found them to be really helpful in almost running it like a business. We sat down and we planned activities. Where do you want to go for a vacation this summer? How are we going to get there? We planned Disney that way, which, as you know, is super expensive. Well, how are we going to afford this? We got one of those giant water jugs, and we threw in our money from extra change. We threw in money from bottles, anything along that lines we threw in there, and we ended up with $800. So that was kind of our fun money, and we went to Disney. It offers a good time to be together as a family. It can be a fun family fun night. It could be games. I tell people, it can also be for good. It doesn't have to be like a bad family meeting where, okay, we need to sit down. We're going to assign chores for the week. I noticed that the garbage isn't getting taken out, or so-and-so's not doing a very good job at this. How can we better do this? Or, you know what? I like how you've been taking care of the animals this week. I really appreciate it. Thank you for doing such a good job. It can also teach consensus and democracy and time management. I always tell parents that both need to be on the same page doing this. If mom's running the meeting and dad's watching TV, it's not going to float. They both need to be a part of this and run this family meeting because it's a family. And I always say that it really isn't a democracy because the parents have the final say. We planned meals this way. What would you like for dinner? Everybody got to pick what they would like. Of course, depending on how healthy it was. If there's issues going on at home, it's a good way to decrease any tensions that are going on, ironing anything out. And again, it really strengthens the family. like I said, it doesn't have to be in the midst of things going wrong. It's good when things are going good and you can acknowledge them. It helps with order in the family, a feeling of security that, okay, there is a plan, there's a goal, and a sense of belonging. Everybody gets a say. There may have to be family rules that, we don't cut people off, we don't put people down for their ideas, and the best way we can do that. So I get a lot of usually moms, my family doesn't clean as good as I want them to, so I just do it. You're setting yourself up. If they're not cleaning as well as you do and they aren't slacking, let it go. I used to sing this song to them, but I'm not going to do that to you all. If you need to reteach, and that's what you need to. Well, this is the proper way to wash the dishes. Make them do it again. If it's not up to your expectations and it's like, oh, it's the best they can do, good, let it go. You can do it. You can kind of tidy it up after them. Stress-free. Teach them how to do their laundry. Teach them how to do other skills. Since, they're really not getting it in school anymore, teach them some life skills. Having a peanut butter sandwich for dinner is not the end of the world. Clothes aren't perfectly folded. It's okay. Stop stressing over all of this. It's the hamper that's overflowing. You'll get to it. It's going to be there tomorrow and the day after if you don't do it. Set boundaries. It's okay to say no. It's okay. So one of the most important things, and again, when I ask clients, what do you do for self-care? They look at me like I have 3 heads, because they don't take the time out for themselves. They're too busy doing it for everybody. If you have to make an appointment with yourself, prioritize self-care. If you don't do it, nobody else is going to do it for you. And take care of your body. It's the only one you got. Again, taking breaks and be still. Take time to be still with no interruptions if you can find it. It's amazing. And find something. I was just talking to a classmate a little while ago, and she retired and she went back to work. She's like, I don't have any hobbies and I don't do anything but work. So she's working again, but find something that you love to do and do it. Keep an eye out for red flags with self-care. Is your body telling you, my stomach's not feeling very good? What's it telling you? Listen, we have to listen to our body more. We don't give it the respect it needs a lot of time. Take a step back. It's okay. But the red flags are very important to keep an eye out. All right, so how do we make this balance, this life satisfaction, how do we make it work? Well, we can try to get more into our day and organization wheel. Get up a little earlier. Half an hour is a lot of time, especially if the kids are up, where you can get things done. TV is such a time stealer. Maybe you should set limits on the TV for yourself and your kids, or screen time. Don't let others waste your time. Do you get people interrupting you at work all the time, asking you 100 questions? Set a time for them and be like, write all your questions down, and then at 3:00 come in, we'll have a meeting and we can go, I can answer all your questions. Because you get people who are very insecure and unsure of themselves that'll come in and ask question after question after question. So make an appointment with them and have them, make a list and then meet with you later. Are there activities you don't contribute to your life? Eliminate them. Get rid of them. Are people overindulged in clubs and recreation that you really don't have the time to do, and you're rushing from here to there, but you're not enjoying it because you've got so much you have to do? think of some resources that you can develop. You know, you may have reliable childcare or elder care, but what could you have as a backup if the caregiver gets ill, or you can't take the child to childcare because they're sick and they won't take them? What can you have as a backup plan? Help out, get some cleaning help. Find some other resources that would definitely help you in your day-to-day plans. Who wants to clean a house? Hire somebody. It'll free you up to do some fun things. If brainstorm with other people, what do they do, or what resources do they have that you can use? And we all have these myths that we live by, that, I must never make a mistake. I must never fail. I must never look foolish. I must work very hard all the time. I must never feel overwhelmed, angry, or vulnerable, and I must always play it safe. They're definitely all myths. And I must work hard all the time. I see a lot of people who are workaholics, and it's tough because unlike any other addiction, you get praised for working hard and doing a good job. And wow, go, man, she's put in a 12-hour day today. She's such a hard worker. Well, that pumps us up, so we continue working hard and becoming workaholics and making it a part of our life. Again, you only get one lifetime with your family or your children. So these are the facts of life. We can't do everything. Perfection is an illusion. You can keep chasing it, you're never going to get it. We can't please everyone. Some people will never understand. They just won't get it. And that's okay. They don't have to get it. Things won't always go our way. And that's okay. How do we cope with that? How do we change it up? What can we do so at least makes the bump a little less bumpier for us? And there is injustice in life. Things aren't fair. And once we come to these realizations, it makes life a little easier. And I went through this very quickly. So again, I just wanted to put a little blurb in about our EAP. This is a program that is a counseling information resource program. We have a sister station in Ogdensburg, and we do a lot of Zoom. If it's anything you think your business may be interested in, contact me. My number is 315-788-4790, and my name's Kelly. And I can give you information on the cost and send you a menu, what's included in it all. It's a great thing, again, to help people. We help people keep their life in balance. So that is it for me. And if you have questions, I guess we will do that. Do I have to hit stop share?
No, you're fine. We'll take care of that. Yep.
All right.
Kelly, thank you so much. It was very informative. Thank you for your time and sharing your expertise with us today. I learned a lot. I learned a few things. We did have a time management webinar last in the fall. I think it was October, wasn't it, Ben? But we have that YouTube channel. It's on our YouTube channel. If you want to go, anybody wants to go back and look at that, you can. That was a great webinar. So it may be mixing the two, what Kelly did and what time management Kate presented for time management would be helpful. We're going to stop the recording in a few minutes. I wanted to thank you all for joining us today. I hope this half hour was valuable to you and provided useful information on how you can navigate the complex topics of balancing your work and family life. I'd like to also thank Clarkson University and St. Lawrence University for their support in sponsoring this webinar series. Follow and like our Facebook page to stay up to date with what's happening in the chamber and to register for our next webinar. The topic of the webinar will be released soon. We encourage you to view our other webinars in the Lunch and Learn series by going to slcchamber.org and clicking Archive Webinars in the right-hand menu, or go to our YouTube channel, search for SLC Chamber NY. We are currently in our Fall for the Chamber membership drive. If you would not know someone who would like a business that would like to join the chamber, please contact us. We have lots of benefits in the St. Lawrence County Chamber and in the Ogdensburg Chamber. Please do refer them to us. We can be reached at 315-386-4000 at St. Lawrence County and at info@slcchamber.org. Interested businesses can also learn about our benefits and apply for membership at www.slcchamber.org. Thank you again for joining us. Have a great afternoon and safe, wonderful Christmas, everyone, holiday season. We're going to stop the recording now, and we're going to start our Q&A. So if you have any questions for Kelly or for Ben or I, please hit the ground running and give us what you need. Thanks.
Laura, I will note that the other webinar you mentioned on time management, which I think is an excellent complement to what Kelly just shared, is in the chat right now. It's called Workplace Wellness was the title of the webinar. It was held on August 4th of 2022, and I just put the link into the chat. So if anybody's interested in copying that so they can view it on their own time, they can do that. The other way to get to all of our webinars that have a very diverse topic coverage is to go to YouTube and search for SLC space chamber space NY. That's the title of our YouTube channel, and that will get you to all of our webinars, which there are many of.
Thanks.
You bet. And with that, I will stop the recording so we can go to Q&A.
So you can